Hey, Trish, can you hear us?
Yep, just had to unmute myself here.
Perfect. Want to make sure it's working.
Yep. So how was the turkey day?
Ate too much.
Yeah, I hear ya.
I was going to join via Zoom, but I was afraid that my computer would do that.
Yeah.
That Mike Pinch
The
doing?
only time I was.
That's Trish.
Oh, just Trish?
Just Trish so far. I haven't seen Mike yet. No Mike Pinch yet.
Put him on this.
Put my video camera on for you.
Should be good.
Hi, Rachel. Oh, we couldn't hear you. Try again.
Who's Rachel? That's a new
Oh,
student.
the student
Student one.
student one.
Oh, I'm not hearing you, Rachel.
Very soft.
Very soft.
Like,
How come I can't get this open?
Looks like the microphone. Try again.
So try again. All right, Rachel, welcome back.
You can see mom
Right now.
so sometimes, once or twice a week.
Bottom there.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I know, I tried.
Rachel, you want to try again to see if we can hear you?
Can you hear me now?
There you
There
go.
we go.
Much better.
We got it.
All right, Bob, we're good to go.
Okay, being as it's 4:45, we call the December Park and Rec meeting to order. Any changes to the agenda?
Nope.
Make a motion to adopt agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Should I introduce Rachel to the committee right now?
Yeah.
Rachel, welcome to the committee.
Hi, Rachel.
Everybody around want to start and identify themselves. They go around. We want to start over on that side.
Dennis, third fifth district alderman. Dave Dorsey.
Mike Barrington, 3rd District.
Lori Dean, 3rd District.
Tom McConnell, 2nd District.
Fred Zog, second district.
John Fache, 1st District.
And Bob Beesaw, 1st District. Welcome aboard.
Chad?
And we already met. I'm Chad, City Administrator, and then
Mayor Mark?
And Michelle over in the corner.
Michelle, go ahead.
Hello.
Okay, any public input? Okay,
Oh. Talk.
hey, Chad, you want to take over that comprehensive outdoor plan?
Sure. So as we've been working through the last several months, you know that we've been working with Trish now from East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, and we've been developing our 5-year open space and rec plan, or comprehensive outdoor recreation plan. And purpose being is this is one of the requirements that we need to have completed to search out any DNR grants. And it's just a building block for what we want to do moving forward with things. So in your packet, I did supply the link. It's a very large document, so I didn't want to email it, but I did put the link in the document that you could download the file and review the document. I told Trish before, this is probably one of the most comprehensive ones that we've seen. It's really nice. There's a lot of information to it. Like Bob said, it's probably going to take you a couple days to
At least.
First of all, thank you, Trish, for putting that work into it.
You betcha. Yep.
I did send a couple of revisions to
Mhm.
some little ones, pretty minor stuff. But I guess at this point in time, and Trish can confirm, we're pretty much done with the plan for the most part, unless there's information that the committee wants to update or change in that plan. So I'm not going to go through it verbatim by any means, but it's a very comprehensive document. Gives a lot of information about our demographics and where we want to go with things. Yeah, I don't know. Trish, you want to throw in a word quick?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you guys for having me back. I could probably just give you a quick overview of the plan. I'm not sure if you guys have had a chance to really look at it, but the plan is really broken up into 8 chapters. So your first chapter is really your introduction, your plan overview. It's like Chad has said, you need this for your grants for any stewardship funds that you would have out there. This plan follows the DNR's, basically their regulations or their guidebook as far as how to put this stuff together. So yeah, you have your introduction, basically your history, and then we go into our goals, which is our chapter 2. And that was, what we had done as with the Park and Rec Committee building process and the SWOT analysis, and that's all added into that chapter. Chapter 3 is your inventory. You need that to just basically how many parks you have. It's basically what is on the ground. So it's your current conditions and what you have out there. Chapter 4 is pretty lengthy. That is pretty much your needs assessment. That looks at, like Chad was saying, your population, your demographics. breaks it down by land needs, locational needs, basically where your parks are located close to neighborhoods, and then your facility base as far as how many baseball diamonds, soccer fields, playgrounds, that kind of thing when you're starting to look at it. Chapter 5 is not really a requirement with the plan itself. That is something that East Central has started to do with our health and planning. This may help the city get a health grant at some point, but it's actually a good background piece to actually have in there. There's some information on the national program as far as safe routes to parks, and that deals a lot with your trails, access points, how do you get to your destinations, and gives you a little bit more of an insight on that. So there are grants out there for safe routes to parks too. So that is a nice little piece that actually you guys get written into your corp. So that may help in the long run. Chapter 6 is really the recommendations. So this is really your guidebook. This is really where your ideas, general recommendations, basically all your parks that were out there, it took in combination with your survey, what you got back from the public, with the Park and Rec Committee, your conversations, what you guys have been talking about for a while. I do see a few things that I do need to add because you do have that on the agenda as far as just a minor thing is maybe replacing those boat launches and then putting in that Floral Hill trail as part of the recommendation, but we can add that in there pretty easily. So look, I mean, looking at the recommendations, it really breaks it down by park and by park type. So it really helps your parks department going in there, really looking at, well, what is my usage base? How should I maintain this? It really gives you a good insight too on the trails and how you can develop some of those trails and connections. And then chapter 7 is really just taking what we had in the recommendations, putting that more into a table, and that's your action program. So that's your 5-year guidebook and looking at what you can do for priority lists. So a lot of this was really just taken from the survey, what was the rationale behind that, and how were these recommendations made. That was pretty much off the goal list that you guys provided and the survey, and just my overall experience as far as what I thought maybe should be in there as part of a recommendation when I did my park audit. So that's pretty much it. Chapter 8 is really just your final resolution, adopting it as your official corp for the city. So I don't know how many questions you guys have. It's a pretty comprehensive plan, like what Chad had said. There's really not a whole lot I can add to it unless I'm missing something that I didn't add. Like I said, I can add in those 2 pieces, but I guess, is there any comments, feedback from the Park and Rec Committee? I will take them. So see what you guys are thinking.
I have one question for you. Can we add some stuff? Because this was a pretty lengthy report to read over in just a short time. And I know we haven't had a chance to read through the whole thing. Can we add something to this later? You
betcha. So what really, it's basically at the table tonight. It's a matter of, does the Park and Rec Committee feel confident enough to basically push this forward and recommend to your city council with possible edits? So, that's something you guys can take up, or you can wait and, look at this a little bit more, recommend at your next Park and Rec Committee meeting, and then take that to City Council for final adoption. So there's a couple different ways we can do that. There is no 30-day waiting period. You don't have to follow state statutes or anything like that. So it's not like a typical comprehensive plan. So it's whatever really the Park and Rec Committee feels comfortable with.
Thank you.
And Trish, correct me if I'm wrong, say in a year we find a project that we really should add to the plan, we can do an amendment of that plan and add that in there before we would write a grant or something like that.
Correct. Yep. You bet. You bet. If there's something that, yeah, definitely comes up that we didn't cover within the planning process, that's something the city can easily add into the recommendation section and just add it and attach it right to the plan itself. Yep.
Looks like you did a good job, I can tell you that. I read through
Well,
some of it, didn't get through the whole thing, but pretty detailed.
Chapter 8 is missing. Trish did send that to me in a separate file. That's just the resolution that we'll have for that. But I do have that resolution if you notice that was missing. Yep.
Yeah. And this is really one of the best plans that you can really have for your parks. And your parks are really, the gems of the city. So, you start thinking about that. You really want to have a good plan in place as you're building your city base as well. So people come to New London to see your parks, to actually have activities and different things. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a park person by trade anyway, but I feel that they kind of get a bad rap in priority as far as funding and different things like that. But overall, yeah, parks are somewhat of your backbone for your city and any, village, city, county, town that you would have. So, yeah. Bicycle and pedestrian, that's the other hot trend. So that was one of the other recommendations that we did put on there. So that's kind of the next piece. I did add in a multimodal piece to reflect that within your document as well. It kind of touches on that bike and pedestrian planning, but if you really want to get into the more detailed, bicycle counting, that kind of thing, as far as where, your high bicycle areas would be. Once you maybe get the Newton Blackmore Trail, that might be something to look at as far as putting some bike counters and traffic counters out there as far as walking and bicycling on that trail itself.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody got any questions for her? Okay, thanks again, Trish.
Thank you, Trish.
You betcha. Yep.
Well, it's kind of up to the committee right now. If you feel like everybody's seen it and you want to pass it on to council, or give it another month, it's not a big deal whatsoever. I mean, it's not like we're rushing to try to get this done for a grant right now, by any means.
How does everybody else feel? Do you gonna have time to read through the thing? It's pretty detailed.
I haven't had time to read through the whole thing.
I'm looking for a motion to take this to council.
I'll second that, but can we add to the motion that there's gonna be a couple additions on she said she'd like to put in something on the Floral Hill bicycle trail and what was the other thing? It's possible work at boat launch, which is on the agenda later, but I'd like to at least have that in the minutes so that we remember to look for that when in the additions.
Yeah, if you could said it could be amended, Johnny, it could be amended and changed. Add it to something deleted in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I can do is I can take those couple comments right now. And like I said, I've already sent Trish a couple of little things. Like in here, it was talking about park and rec. There were some other little technical things that I just had her change. So you'll see those in the final revision. But I can take those couple of comments right now, have her change that. And then if you guys are ready, we can bring it to the council for next week or whatever.
We got it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Hey, Chad, you want the purchase of the video servers?
Yep. Thanks again, Trish, for all your help.
Sure, you bet. Yep. We'll get you the new draft.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Yep. So let me get the agenda back up. So we've been working with Camera Corner on our video servers. As you know, we've been investigating, updating the servers that we have. And first of all, the servers are for broadcasting on our cable access channel. So number one, we show basically what's called a PSA, or public service announcement. It's like the PowerPoint screen to just it slides and does different announcements. And then on top of that, we also have the video aspect of it, that every once in a while when it's scheduled, it shows a video, what type of videos, whether it's a city council meeting or, whatever type of events that we're capturing video and editing on. The servers are Let's see, we purchased those my first year here in about 2009, so they're over 9 years old. And as you know, a computer that's over 9 years old, that's an old computer. There aren't too many computers we're using that are 9 years old. So we definitely need to look at upgrading the servers. And then along with that, we talked about doing different upgrades with the camera system in here and putting what's called point to zoom cameras in this room so that one person could actually do all the videotaping instead of having multiple people do all that. So using digital cameras that are going to be much more efficient and just a better system. The cameras that we have, you guys seen those monstrosities that we got, those things are old. So who knows when those things die, when we would have to replace them anyway. It would also include upgrading the sound system. If you come back over here, I've got this thing so Mickey Mouse with wires and everything all over. It's time to update this too as well.
So then would he be doing all the taping from the back?
Potentially, yep. There'd be one spot where he would have the switchboard,
Okay,
switch between the cameras. Currently what he's doing right now, it'd just be different cameras that he's controlling from the
Right.
back.
and you guys still are set up here? On like on Tuesday nights when we have our council meetings, you guys are still set up there?
We wouldn't have to be
Well, I
anymore.
know you wouldn't have to be, and he'd be controlling that end of it too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
So one-
he should run the thing by himself, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So one person, instead of having two people manually move cameras around and zoom in, he would just do it in the back office automatically.
And then my next question is has there been comparison pricing to other camera places, or is Camera Corner the only game in town?
See, what we're doing right now is getting, I'm asking for approval for a design. We worked with Camera Corner to come up with this is extremely complicated. You should see the map they put together with all the pieces of equipment and making sure everything works, because you got different systems that need to work together. So this is a very complicated project. I would not feel comfortable trying to design this myself by any
No, I
means.
wasn't looking to you to design it, but I'm just saying, are there any other companies like Camera Corner out there that do this type of thing?
And that's why we're going to bid it out. So
Oh,
what
you
we're
are
asking,
gonna bid it out?
yes.
Okay.
So what we're asking right now is $3,000 to buy the design that they created for us that we've worked together. We're going to take that and put it out to bid because it's going to be over $25,000. And by state law, we have to bid it out. So that's what we're getting to right now, is just to use their framework of what they did, because they were the experts to make sure this thing is going to work,
Right,
and then bid it out and then see who comes back. So
okay.
Camera Corner can bid, but other companies can bid out as well.
But essentially what you're saying is that you want to buy the diagram that they've put together.
The diagram and the bid specifications, because
Okay.
since this is so complicated, I can't create bid specifications and make sure it's apples and apples. I mean, somebody could come back and use this could swing big time if you don't put good specifications together. And that's what we're purchasing. I'm asking to purchase right now, so that
Okay.
when we bid it out, it's an apples to apples project.
We're only looking to approve the 3,000 anyway, not the 25,000.
Correct. So at this point in time, I'm asking for $3,000 to be financed out of the cable fund to purchase those design and bid specs so we can bid it out. And then once the bids come back in, then you guys can determine which bidder. I mean, obviously we go with the low bid, qualified bid. But at that point in time, we'll review the bids, and that'll be for the actual project.
Is that going to be like capital projects, or is that the cable fund's going to pay for that too?
That'll be the cable fund.
It will?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, look for a motion to approve the purchase of the video servers,
But the design specs.
design specs, I should say. Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Recommend to council resolution supporting the World Migratory Bird Day. That'll be the mayor. Yeah.
Yes, it will. So basically, you're gonna sending this on to the council for the mayor to read. It's just our annual resolution, part of the hoops we have to jump through if we want to be a bird city, Wisconsin designee. So it's something we've done for the last how many years, and pretty standard.
You agreed with that, Mayor Mark?
Absolutely.
I have a copy here.
No,
You need to
I've got my
practice on that
copy.
one.
Thank you, John.
Okay, and one of these gentlemen here want to talk on the bike trail or something, I wonder?
Well, I got it for a motion, so if you want to recommend that to go to council, the resolution.
Oh, you mean for the migratory bird day?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I forgot we had to do that. Okay, I look for recommendation to take the World Migratory Bird Day to council.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Said they didn't want to talk earlier.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Director's report?
Yeah, let's see here. Nothing too exciting. I mean, we've been really busy in the office. There's been a lot of things going on, obviously, with the front office and cleaning up the end of the year stuff, putting things, parks getting put away for the year and things like that. So I got nothing really excited to report on. Michelle sent out the statistics and everything, and I got no anniversaries for this month. So it's one of the months where things kind of slow down in the park and rec world and start building things back up after the first of the year.
I got nothing to report. Anybody on the committee got anything to want to talk about?
Is the Sturgeon Trail area back there, is that considered part of the park thing? Or is that owned by the county or?
Yep, the Sturgeon Trail is outside the city limits and managed by Wapaka County Parks.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were taking care of that or what. That was like one of our nature areas. All right, thank you.
Future agenda items, Bike Trail south of Floral Hill Cemetery.
Yep, I just got a couple of things that we'll put on the future agenda items, kind of little task list when we can get to them. I don't know if you gentlemen have anything to report on with that. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about that, about the potential bike, but if you guys are ready to kind of talk about something, we can put that on next month's agenda if you like.
We definitely like to talk about it. That's the reason we showed up, is we're not sure where things stand right now. Trying to build a faithful case on this end and get some traction.
Can we talk about that, or that can't be talked about?
Well, I don't know if we're ready to talk about it tonight, but if one of you guys want to contact me in the office, I can give a business card after the meeting so that we can have a little discussion to prepare for the next meeting to see where we want to go with things. I think that'd be the next step. I just kind of threw it on here to make sure we're not forgetting to talk about it in the future.
It's on our radar. It's been talked about.
Did the cemetery commission get back to you or no?
Not officially,
Okay.
just the representations that we had here, but I think if we have some internal conversations, I know there's some concerns
Right.
we got to talk out, but
Last time we talked about it, I knew that, so.
Yep.
And that's part of why we showed up tonight. We weren't sure if they were able to report back. I know somebody was going to look into access to the city piece on the edge there, the water tower.
I know Jamie Walbrook's been having some conversations with that. So I think if we have a conversation internally, we can see where he's at with that and just start that conversation. So we have something kind of organized for the next meeting.
Replacement of the Riverside boat launch docks.
Again, nothing to talk about right now, but just some things we want to make sure it's on the on our radar for future conversations. What we want to do is Luke's doing some research on replacing the boat launch docks, some of them that are getting kind of old. We do have money that's been building up now in the boat launch fund. Again, that's a segregated fund just for the boat launch, and raised through the user fees for the daily and month or annual passes that we have down there. So we're to a point where we're comfortable in the near future making a recommendation for replacing some of those docks. So Luke's working on that, and in conjunction, with the kayaking, potential kayaking launch as well.
Yep. Sure.
Are the ticket machines up and running yet, or?
They are operational. We don't have the credit card backbone thing
Okay.
working yet. I mean, they're in the shop right now, but the guy came out, tested them. Everything seems to be working on the machines themselves. We just got to get in the backside, in the cloud, making sure the credit card thing's working.
Okay.
In the winter, we're gonna take them down and keep them inside.
Oh, all right.
So we're not gonna put them back out until spring.
And then you'll take them down every year?
That was recommended. I mean, I do have covers that we can put on them, but these things, I mean, it's a couple bolts and you unplug the power, and it's actually not too hard to take it off and put it inside.
All
And it
right.
was recommended just to kind of keep them inside for the winter. We wouldn't have to, but it's probably better.
Yeah, with plowing snow and everything else down there, I think it's a good
Yeah.
idea to take them off
Very
and bring them
slow.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah. Anybody got anything else? Motion for adjournment?
So
All in favor? Opposed? We're adjourned.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel.
thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good night, Rachel.
You too.